everyone. Good morning. This is Naomi Nachman on the Nachum Segal Network. For those of you who are tuning in for the very first time, and we have an amazing show. You're going to love hearing the Nachum Segal Network because today is a very special show. We are all about all the food all the time right here on Table for Two. I love food. I love shopping for food, cooking for food, eating at restaurants, anything food related. I'm a kosher personal chef. My business is called the Aussie Gourmet. I give cooking classes. I run kosher chop competitions. I have a Pesach cookbook. Pesach is really soon, people. So grab your copy of Perfect for Pesach on sale right now at Amazon or your local Judaica stores. But anytime you don't feel like cooking, you can give me a call, and I hope that you'll tune in each week and hear from my amazing, exciting guests and sharing of great recipe ideas. But I want to hear about your experiences too. So email me, naomi@nachumsegal.com. Thank you so much always for everyone who tunes in and listens. Follow us on Instagram, the Nachum Segal Network. Guys, we have so much going on the network all the time. You want to stay updated. Yoni Pollock is doing an amazing job. Shout out to you, Yoni, for doing an amazing job now with Instagram and Facebook. So really, we are moving into new platforms all the time. And I think it's really a great move for everyone. I just want to give a huge shout out to Basil in Crown Heights. They have rebranded themselves. They have done an incredible job. I had not been there in many years. They have same owners, and he could see a need for change. He got a new hashgacha. He got new chefs. He brought in a whole team from Israel, and it was a fabulous meal. I went with a shout out to my friend Rivka Boym, who was my +1 at a tasting there a week or so ago. And I met all the chefs, if you saw it on my Instagram page. But really, it's, Crown Heights is the destination restaurant neighborhood to visit if you are anywhere in the drivable neighborhood. And I mean, 2-hour drive and around in all directions. Okay, so we have, as I said, a great lineup because I always love when Naftali Hanau comes in on the show. But he brought a special guest. Anna is here, his wife. So we are going to have a cooking session right here. And I'm going to say this is part 2 of the farm to table movement segments, because last week we had kosher catch on. We had an incredible time eating raw fish, cooked fish in lime juice, aka ceviche and citruses. And we had an incredible show with Gabriel Geller. KFWE is coming up. Make sure you get your tickets. I'm just thinking by the time this airs, there'll still be KFWE lineup. And we had some great wines, and we had a great time learning about kosher catch. So more information, koshercatch.net. But we tied the two in together, and we gave on the show lots of shout outs to the Hanaus who were coming in for this week's show. So it's so lucky that the timing worked back to back. So we're going to have last week's show and this week's show all about fresh food and sustainable food, and we're going to be talking to the Hanaus in a couple of minutes. So another tie into great healthy cooking is I have on the phone with me 2 lovely ladies. We're going to interview each one at a time. They did a collaboration. Yvette Waldenberg is the WIZO chairperson for the Yachad group, who put together a cookbook with Gail Farkas, and we're going to talk to them each one. The cookbook is called Health Giving Cookbook. It is 100 anti-inflammatory recipes. We're going to find out what all that means. And we have a beautiful book. They sent me a copy. I actually met them randomly when I was in Miami for a chop competition and did a food crawl once again for kosher.com. And I met them in Harbour Grill Bistro with David Benray. And these lovely ladies, this lovely lady came over to me and introduced herself, and she goes, I did a partnership with a cookbook, and next thing I know, I get one in my mail, and I'm very excited to I was very excited to get it, and it's right up my alley. So welcome, Yvette.
Thank you very much. Hello everyone, and thank you for having us here.
Oh, I'm so excited.
We are very happy that you like the book.
Oh, my God. I love it. This is like right up my alley. So tell us what you do for WIZO and what WIZO is.
Okay. I am the chair of the WIZO Yachad group, and WIZO has a lot of chapters, that each chapter has different projects. So WIZO has different projects in Israel, including child care centers, schools for at-risk youth, shelters for battered women, homes for girls in distress, and programs providing services for the elderly in Israel.
Very nice.
At every age, wisdom nourishes the body, comforts the soul, educates and mind empowers the individual. So with this book, all the proceeds will go to Wisos Nahalat Yehuda School and Youth Village, and will help a lot of children.
Beautiful.
In Israel.
Beautiful. Now, what does Yachad mean? The Yachad group.
Yachad means together.
Okay,
and
beautiful.
We are a group of ladies working with the same purpose.
Okay,
to help Israel.
So just to make it the difference between the Yachad, which is the special needs organization run through the OU. So this is a different group. It's Yachad means together, as we said. So their chapter is called the Yachad group right there. You're actually, by the way, we didn't mention that you're in Miami, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, now I hear an accent.
Yes, I am originally from Mexico, and
Cool.
I moved to Miami almost 8 years ago.
Okay, very nice. So,
And yes.
okay, what kind of kosher food do we have in Mexico? Where in Mexico?
I am originally from Mexico City.
Okay, there's a big community there, right?
Yes, there's a big community, and you can find a lot of kosher restaurants. You have a lot of synagogues. You have everything about Jewish life.
I love it. And how are you enjoying Miami?
Very nice. Like really, it has a big Jewish life.
Yeah.
There's a lot of synagogues. There's Jewish schools. My kids go to a Jewish school, and I am very happy because it's easy to be Jewish here.
Yeah. They're very lucky down there in Miami and across the US. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, so
Yes.
How did you partner with Susan Farkas? How did that come together?
We were very lucky because Susan came to WISO with her finished written book and including beautiful pictures in it. So our job was giving shape to the book by coordinating the project, the graphic design, layout, the text review, and printing, and now the promotion and sale.
Okay, great. It has lovely pictures, has a lot of facts. Now, we called this a plant-based diet and fish, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay, great. Susan, are you there?
Yes, I will leave you with Susan.
Okay,
Thank
great. Yvette, thank you so much. She's passing the phone. They are actually together. We thought we might be able to have them on speaker, but the sound wasn't so clear. So we're going to pass the phone from one to the other right there. Hello, Susan.
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you? Where are you from? Am I hearing another accent?
Yes, you are. I'm from Colombia.
Colombia?
From Colombia, yes. I left Colombia 22 years ago.
Okay.
I moved to Australia, then 7 years in Israel. I did Chinese medicine in Israel and herbology, and then moved to Miami.
Okay, Miami's amazing, right? Tell me what's the weather like now? Make me a little jealous.
Absolutely gorgeous, blue sky. Temperature is just perfect, 73. Sunny and beautiful. So yes, we're very lucky.
I'm crying.
It is very lucky, yes.
Okay. So talk to me why you needed to write this book, because it's so different from any other kosher cookbook that you see.
Okay, good. I like different. So my background is in traditional Chinese medicine. I work with a lot of doctors, good doctors here in Miami. And my role is to teach people how to eat and to make food your medicine. And so with my background in Chinese medicine, that's just part of Chinese medicine. You are what you eat. Part of the, when I did my internship in China, it was incredible to me to see that each patient will have their own menu, their own recipes according to the disease. And so there I really truly learned the power of food. And I love cooking. I love food. And so little by little, I started creating these recipes where everyone has an intention. Everyone brings a healing power to it. And so I work under the umbrella of inflammation. So when you said the 100 anti-inflammatory recipes, it's because with these recipes, you can actually lower inflammation.
Inflammation
And
where? In your
inflammation-
stomach? In your stomach?
So no, it's systemic inflammation. So the chronic diseases, the modern chronic diseases, they have this thing in common, which is elevated markers of inflammation. From diabetes to cardiovascular disease to dementia, some types of cancers, they all have in common inflammation, high numbers of inflammation in your blood, in your system. It's systemic inflammation. And so when you lower those, it's the best way to prevent disease and to treat disease. And so makes the patient very active in their recovery. So through food, you can actually really repair and help prevent and treat disease. So I truly believe food has the power to change your chemistry and to make you better.
I'm a big believer in that also. That's amazing. I love that.
Good.
Okay, so what?
And
yeah, you keep going because I could listen to you all day about this.
Well, yeah, and it's very simple, really. The principles of an anti-inflammatory recipes are so simple. It's all about eating clean, less processed food, eating real wholesome foods. That's the number one. The second one, it should be mostly plant-based diet and fish. So the book, as I told you, is mostly plant-based protein and fish. Good, wild, local, if possible, fish.
Oh,
and
yeah, we had a fisherman in here last week talking about catching your own wild fish or getting it from him at Kosher Catch.
Oh, amazing. We love that omega-3, that good source of protein. And then it talks about also low sugar and low glycemic, high fiber, good fats. And for that, you really need to love cooking and cooking more. It's the only way to assure you have a healthy, balanced diet. And so that's why I decided that, writing a cookbook was the right way to go. And then partnering with WITSO, with this amazing group of amazing women, powerful, strong women, it was just perfect. It was perfect. So, yes.
Absolutely fabulous. Your cooking style, your freshness, the vegetables. I love how in the beginning you even have a explanation about getting clear about fish, and then you have the difference between farm-raised and wild-caught.
Exactly.
You have an explanation about the vegetables and herbs.
Correct.
It's absolutely fantastic. Where can people buy this book?
Oh, beautiful.
Where do we buy this?
There's a link. I can send you the link. There's the WITSO Yachad link.
Okay.
And they will send it to you anywhere.
Okay. Can we get it on Amazon?
Not Amazon. No Amazon. It's only through WITSO because all the profits will go to Nahalat Yehuda Youth Center.
Okay.
The beautiful project.
ZK, can we put that up on the screen maybe? Okay. So we're going to put it up on the screen now. I don't know if we can. Can we put it up on the screen where to get the book from? Okay.
So you want me to say the link?
Yeah, tell me the name. Yeah.
Okay, sure. It's www.witsofl.org.
Yeah.
And the name of the book, it's Health Giving Cookbook.
Health. I'm writing it down, and ZK's going to put up Health Giving Cookbook. So they want to go to witsofl.org to get the book.
That's correct.
Okay.
We will go to store, and then they will find the Health Giving Cookbook.
Okay, wizofl.org for those who are listening and those who are watching. This is a lovely book. Thank you so much for talking to us and to bringing us such a fabulous book. And I'm getting tons of recipe ideas and lots of things, fresh food to make, and everybody's going to love this. I'm actually very careful whose cookbooks end up on my studio. Everybody thinks I love everything, and I do, but there are some things that don't pass muster to come, and I don't want, I want the show to be about high caliber foods, and We like to present good quality things right here on the Nachum Siegel Network. And really, I'm giving this book such a nice shout out. Health Giving Cookbooks goes to an amazing organization in Israel.
Thank you very much.
All right, good luck.
Thank you very
And everyone, it's wizofl.org, and ZK will put that up on the screen. Thank you. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Have a great day.
You.
Take care.
Thank you very much.
All right. Bye,
Thank you.
guys. That was great. I love this book. I don't know if you've had a chance to flick through it, guys. As much as I love healthy fish and salads, I'm all about rounding out your diet. So I'm tying this in because as an Aussie, we love our meat. There is nothing better than having a nice piece of meat.
And good meat can be health-giving.
And good meat, especially it's about what you eat and where you're sourcing your food from. And today I'm having, as I said, I have two very special guests. Naftali with Anna today, and now.
It's about time.
Oh.
Yeah, it's been I know, with babies are getting bigger.
The babies are getting bigger.
So
exactly. I'm out of the house again.
Okay, fantastic. You know, I met your uncle and aunt the other night. Did
Yes,
they tell you?
me, yes.
At the
shul.
We had a movie night at the shul. And they're like, "Oh, you're."
And they were on the flight that got stuck in Newfoundland.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Are they okay?
They're fine.
It was like a 24-hour trip to Israel.
Yes.
They could have, yeah.
And our 4.5-year-old wanted to know exactly how long it was and how long they were on the plane and what happened to the other plane.
Yeah,
lot of
in
questions.
true,
I
in
have
true
questions.
food fashion, it sounded like what we heard is that the staff was great. They were feeding us. Everything was fine. They just kept bringing out more and more food. So.
Can you imagine 24 hours on a plane with no food, kosher food? Did you not know what happened?
Can you imagine 24 hours on an El Al plane with your whole neighborhood?
Can we just recap what happened? So by the time they're airing this, it will be a week and a half that had happened. An LR flight took off within an hour and a half. It had to land in
at a military base in Newfoundland, and they couldn't actually deplane because if they
an emergency landing.
Well, it was an emergency landing, but if they deplane, there would have been customs issues, and people who are going from the U.S. to Israel are presumably allowed to travel between those countries, but not necessarily able to get into Canada. And
Also, it was 15 below.
15 below, and the airport is a military base, not an airport with border patrol and customs. It's Newfoundland. Like, nobody, this wasn't supposed to happen.
Echveld.
So they had to stay on the plane for, I think, about 14 hours. El Al sent a replacement plane over.
From Israel.
There's elderly people. There was actually a mace, a dead body on the
I
plane
heard.
that was going to be buried. Only on an El Al flight, this kind of thing is going to happen. But then they had like a shuttle bus going from one plane to the next
Because it was so cold you couldn't walk across.
And there were elderly people. They didn't want them walking and windy. I mean, it was crazy. All I know is my Oma was very stressed, but they're fine. Oma's okay now because they're in Israel now.
These are your cousins, your aunts and uncles?
This is my dad's brother and my dad's brother's wife.
Crazy story. That was all. I follow Yeshiva World News as well.
They were all over.
They were all over that. Swipe up on Instagram.
They had somebody on the plane. It was very impressive.
Oh, really?
They must have.
I'd stick a Jew on Yeshiva World News. I mean,
everybody's a correspondent. At
Yeah. Right? With our phones now, we were talking about that last week. Everyone has a phone. They're a news correspondent. But the best news comes right here on the Nachum Siegel Network.
That's right.
We bring you the best, literally. Okay, so that was a crazy story.
Yeah, that was an aside.
Yeah, no. That was really insane. So, okay, hopefully everyone is enjoying their time now.
But the grow and behold meat that they were smuggling into Israel stayed frozen because it was so cold on the plane. Really? That's the moral of the story. No, I made that up. No,
but it could be.
But
it's possible.
It would have been fine.
It has happened before.
I bring meat from Australia because Australian lamb is all grass-fed by nature. Like, they don't do all this. I don't know if sheep here have the whole philosophy where they shove them with corn like they do.
It's not like it is with cattle, but
right.
It's not quite the same as Australian lamb.
So Australian lamb is divine. So I always bring Australian lamb back, and it stays frozen 24 hours on the plane.
Yeah, we have a lot of customers who will actually bring meat to Israel.
Yeah. I don't know how legal all that is, but I don't tell, do I?
It's all good.
Don't ask, don't tell, right? We're going to take
There's
that
a lot of
policy.
exemptions for personal use, actually.
Okay, there you go. So we're talking with Susan, who wrote this healthy cooking, and what you eat and trying to keep everything healthy. And I think your meat is just, tell us the history of why your meat is the healthy meat.
Sure. So
I know you've been on the show before.
We'll tell the story again. I make
everybody,
and
I make him come on every time. You come on like twice a year.
That's good.
And I make everyone hear the story again because we have new listeners.
It's a fun story,
and I think I can't get enough.
So it started about, what is it, 12 years ago now.
Feels like forever.
Feels like, in a good way, in a good way, in a good way. We met in Connecticut at the Isabella Friedman Jewish Retreat Center, where they have a wonderful program called the Adamah Fellowship. It is a Jewish environmental leadership program.
I didn't realize you met there.
We met a couple times before that. Anna doesn't remember, but we're not. Yeah, the third time we met, for me, the first time Anna met me, was at that program.
No comment.
Yeah. But so it's a great program, and it's training Jewish environmental leaders through the lens of sustainable farming and food production. So there's a 4 or 5 acre vegetable farm where vegetables are grown for the CSA program. They deliver the produce from the farm to customers in West Hartford every week. They have a fermentation, a pickling business. They have a small goat dairy for education. We do an educational shechita there every year because me and my Rebbe go up.
When are you going up next? My husband wants to come with you.
Every year in November. You gotta reach out to me in October. You just missed it.
I just missed it.
This was not a good year to go. It was raining all day.
It is a great place to fall in love, I will tell you, because
that's so romantic.
It is. I'm going to tell you why. You're really living it. Okay, we make food blessings. Okay, is it Bori Priya 8s or Pradama, blah, blah, blah. I'm in the field. I'm on my knees. I'm dirty. I'm watching this pepper growing. Do you know that pepper flowers are stunningly beautiful? They're like creamy yellow with purple insides. They're like, the bees are there. Everything's alive. Everything's growing. And you're realizing this is amazing to just sort of be a part of and use your body in ways like we're all, suburban Jews. We've never been outside before. Like, just feels good. And then you realize our Jewish tradition actually requires us to say wow and say thank you. We're saying thank you every single morning that we wake up, and we're waking up in this beautiful place and we have these food brachot. You actually have to know how a cherry grows different than a cherry tomato to know what blessing to say. It actually makes a difference. Is it a tree? Is it from the earth? And to actually be there and in that setting and putting all the pieces together. It's very profound.
Kids don't get this.
Also,
kids do not get this. They don't know. They need to see where it grows.
I just want to say also, from the summer that we met, there are 2 other marriages from that summer. There are 5 babies and 1 more poo on the way. Not ours. We're good. But so Jewish mothers and Jewish fathers, if you have kids who, you're like, they're a little bit different. I was a little bit different. I was doing landscaping in high school, but if your kids are maybe a little bit different, the traditional system isn't working for them, you want to send them somewhere where they might still meet somebody Jewish, consider the Adamah program. They've got 3 fellowships, spring, summer, fall. Great
How
place.
old do you have to be?
20s.
In your 20s.
In your 20s. It's a great
Am I too
program.
old to go?
You can go to farm camp.
Farm.
They have.
Do they really have a farm camp?
They do. They have farm camp, I think, twice in the summer.
I want to go to that.
They have a
Seriously,
cheese
can you
camp.
guys hook me up? Can you guys hook me up with that?
We can connect you with them.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
like-
Yeah.
And then
we're
there's
very
a food
close with them.
conference. There's a food
Right, I
conference
miss
every
that
summer that's at the same
every
place.
time.
It's amazing.
It's just always bad
Yeah.
timing for me for that.
No, we should get you there.
But
I know.
but we met there like 11, 12 years ago, and we fell in love. It was wonderful.
That's so cool.
It was, even though, it is wonderful. It's still wonderful every day. But at that point when we fell in love,
I see hearts floating around here.
You can tell I'm
Actually, there is a heart up there.
I'm the sentimental one.
Did you get that heart, ZK? He's on it.
Be nice. I'm trying. No.
So we were excited about growing vegetables. We thought we were going to have a farm. We were looking at land. We thought we were going to, end up pretty far away from anywhere. And we were going to grow vegetables, but not grow up keeping kosher. And we were surrounded by people raising, beautiful animals on pasture that were not being slaughtered in a kosher way. So Naf's like, I know, we'll live on and then a lot of integrated, farms that also have animals as part of the fertility cycle and manure and composting and all of that. So obviously the easiest thing to do would be for Naf to learn shlita. So he would learn how to shecht chickens, and then we could live on a farm and raise our own chickens and raise our own vegetables. And so we thought that was the only possible solution.
Just
and,
made sense.
Exactly.
Yeah,
what we
because
should be
how
doing.
many boys actually go into shechita?
Well,
What's the percentage?
So this is the best part of the story. So my grandmother found out I was learning shechita. She was mortified. We come from Polish Hasidim, rabbis, scholars. a boy who couldn't be a Talmid Chacham would be a sheikhet. She was mortified. Then when I became an entrepreneur, she was very happy.
Okay.
That was good.
Okay. Halacha in business.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I learned shchita and I started learning the meat business. So, and as we were realizing that growing vegetables and walking to shul and living a traditional Jewish life are not really something that you can really do in this country. And if you find a farmer in America who walks to shul, I want their number because I still haven't met them. And I've been asking this question for 10 years now. But as we were learning that, we also said, wait a minute, I know how to take a cow and make a kosher steak. And that's not something that's actually very easy to do. It's not something that most people know how to do. And there was a serious lack of high quality kosher meat available in terms of the sustainability, the ethics of food production, and the quality. It wasn't there. I mean, 10 years ago. And we said, you know what, let's give this a shot. And I think really fundamentally, I can speak farmer, I can speak slaughterhouse operator, and I can also speak to rabbis. And that's my life. I mean, I'm not actually a farmer. Ann and I have worked on farms, but I talk on the phone. That's what I do. I drive to the farm. I talk to the farmers. I drive to the plants, and I talk to the butchers and the plant operator. It's really actually about putting it all together. So we started the business in 2010.
How long did it take you to become a full-fledged shochet?
So I have a license to shecht poultry, and is it 6 weeks? No, it was 3 months. 3 months. It was 3 months. My Rebbe said that. So the way that I learned was a little bit like YU. If you're in the smicha and the rabbinic program at YU, you can take a class with Rabbi Loiki and learn shchita. That's a much more kind of an academic thing. It's wonderful.
Do they take them out to a?
They do, and they shecht a few chickens. But I actually apprenticed myself to a shochet who was working at a plant, and I probably shechted like 1,000 chickens before, I even started getting tested. It was really it was much more of an apprenticeship model because he knew, at least at that point, that the idea was that, we were going to be on a farm doing this for ourselves. And I needed to know, like a shochet knows how to shech. They know how to make the cut properly. They know the halachas around that. Maybe they know a little bit of the inspection. But if I'm going to be on a farm with Anna shechting a chicken, we've got to shecht it, pluck it, inspect it, gut it. The whole process through, including the koshering, know how to kosher the livers, all that stuff. So I did it in about 3 months because I was really doing it full time. I was very, very focused on it. And I did not get my Kabbalah for red meat animals because that's, I didn't want to actually be a shochet for a career. And as we started to realize that farming is not going to happen, let's go into meat, I had started working on the, learning shchita for big animals, but I also learned the butchering and how to do the deveining and all that process.
Trabering, right?
Trabering.
Deveining is trabering.
Nikor, porging.
Malicha.
Malicha salting.
Malicha salting.
Malicha salting.
That's later.
Hadacha. Nikur, hadacha, milicha.
Okay.
And then hadacha again.
Right, we know.
It's a whole process. But we started in 2010. We started selling just chicken. In 2011, we added beef. 2012, we added lamb. Turkey was at some point in there. Nobody can remember exactly when we started selling turkey.
I love that they sell a half a turkey. Can we just talk about the half turkey?
Yes, the half turkey is very popular.
I love that.
Half turkey is very popular.
So good.
Yeah, it cooks so
like
fast.
a big roast chicken. It's the same,
oh my gosh.
Think of it the same way.
And I learned from you guys when you came on the show, I think last year or the year before Thanksgiving, you rub it in duck fat.
Yes.
And you just roast it in duck fat.
Yes, that's all you need to do.
Oh my.
Yeah. So we've added products over the years, and now we're selling beef, chicken, turkey, duck, lamb, roast veal.
Jerky?
We sell jerky.
Sausages?
We have dried salami. We have sausages.
Remember we made sausages
we made
right
sausage.
here
Yeah,
in the studio?
I
ZK,
came
were you here for
right
that?
from a production run, I think, the first
Yeah,
time.
you came and we
did
cooked them right here, and then we had a meeting in the park. I think afterwards
Yes.
we're talking some business.
Talking some business.
And yeah, we were eating those lamb sausages.
Yep. But the whole program is we work directly with our farmers and with our plants. Our animals are raised on pasture with no antibiotics, no growth-enhancing hormones. They've got a natural diet. They have room to run around, to express
It
themselves.
sounds exactly like when I was talking last week to Jeffrey Ingber about kosher catch.
Exactly.
And I said to everyone, I said to Jeff, and everyone that was listening, our listeners, I feel like I'm talking Naftali Hanau because you guys have the same MO.
For sure. And people want good product. People want to know where their food is coming from. I mean, what you are what you eat. It's the most famous and true,
And the same thing with our healthy cooking book. Even though she doesn't eat meat, right? It's all knowing where your food is coming from and reading the back of the packaging and
getting away from overly processed foods, getting away from foods that are produced in a way that, nobody in our community, nobody in our world wants to, see animals suffer or workers suffer or people be unhealthy because of the way their food is produced. Nobody wants to see that consciously, but we're very removed. People are very removed from how food is produced. And the fact is the food system in most of the industrialized world does have problems. There's the environmental impact, there's the social cost, there are some issues with it. And, for sure it's more expensive to produce meat and fish and, anything in this manner. But for those who want to put their money there, that's why we exist,
So what? Yeah.
I was just going to say, people often say, well, it's so much more expensive. And it's like, well, you really get what you pay for. And we don't always buy the cheapest shoes or the cheapest car or the cheapest clothes
because they fall apart.
Because they fall apart, because they don't look right, because they don't serve us. But with food, and it's not, it is our culture. Our stores are named Price Chopper, Super Value, Save On. Our stores are not named Healthy Food Inside, right? Our stores are named Don't Spend as little money as you possibly can. So it's deeply ingrained in how we think. But it's worth relearning because there is really a quality difference both from the health and ultimately from taste. We have some people who don't even. They're like, ethics, methics, fine, great. This is just the most delicious meat I've ever had. And it turns out when you raise the animals well, they taste better.
Right. A lot of my customers, and you guys know that I'm a personal chef, love when I do my flanken ribs. I think I must have bought 80 strips of ribs from you Rosh Hashanah time, and I had to count out. This one wanted 6 and this one wanted 8. But they loved it. And you can definitely see the quality and actually the flavors are better. People always say fat is flavor, and we know that that's true. But your meats aren't running with fat. Can you explain that whole thing, how it's so flavorful without being so fatty?
Well, part of it, there's two things there. One is that is the trimming. We butcher our meat very, very carefully. I mean, we don't want, people might look at the prices and say, oh my gosh, $21.99 for a brisket. But you also have to understand that we are not weighing the brisket, trimming it, and then selling it to you. We are trimming that brisket fully. And the price per pound is on a trimmed piece of meat. So we trim our meat very carefully so there's not extra fat on it. But also, we are not selling 100% grass-fed beef. Our cattle are finished with a mix of grain and grass, so there is some grain in the diet. And that's what allows us to get some marbling in there. Because marbling, which is the internal fat in the meat, is what gives beef its beefy flavor. And
right.
It's not just from the fat, but the fat is where a lot of the flavor is.
Right.
So that's why it's so flavorful. It's that plus the way it's fed.
Yeah, the Grow and Behold meat really has a whole different flavor than I find in the regular kind of meats. Your steaks, I'm obsessed with your oyster steaks and the Denver steaks. The Denver steaks are unbelievable. And you don't need to make, I hate when I go to a restaurant, and I was recently at one. I'm not going to say who because I don't like to talk Lashon Hara here. But it was a beautiful expensive piece of meat. It was an expensive steak. It was drowned in sauce. I don't understand. I could have gone into the kitchen, taken a piece of meat, salt and olive oil. Right? That's all we need. And a cast iron pan.
Yeah, and we don't spend a lot of time on fancy marinades and sauces because the meat speaks for itself.
Right, meat should speak for itself.
So.
Okay, let's cook.
Okay. So,
as we move into the second hour of our show, we're going to have a cooking demo.
So one of the things that we love to do is, especially when we do cooking demos or the shows or something like that, is not just, we're not going to show you how to make a fancy recipe, because if you want to do that, you can go online, you can go to our website, growandbehold.com. We've got hundreds and hundreds of recipes, but we love technique.
Right.
So what we're going to do is sear duck breasts.
Okay. I love duck breasts. And so many... duck is becoming more and more popular.
Duck is popular. And so our pastured duck is raised outdoors on pasture. It is sweet. It's got incredible flavor. And one of the great things about duck is when you buy duck, duck might look expensive. You're buying two things. You're buying duck and you're buying duck fat. So you have to change your value proposition.
You had me at duck fat. I know people freak out. My daughter's here in the studio, and I used to remember when I used to fry French fries in duck fat. Everyone went crazy over it. and then you finish it with some Himalayan pink salt. Ooh la la.
So duck has a very thick layer of fat in between the meat and the skin. And the way that we're going to get that out is that we are going to just poke through the skin with a push pin. I grabbed a push pin from the wall.
I
It's
am
placing
learning.
now.
I'm learning a new technique.
Okay,
I'm just
we'll
going to
mark it with
take some
with
pictures.
red nail
Okay.
polish. So you can do this with a knife and make a shallow scoring, or you can use your sharp fork or a push pin. But you just score the duck skin all over, and what this is going to do is this is going to allow the fat to render out through the skin. It's going to allow the fat to render out of the skin nicely while still allowing the skin to brown. If you don't do this, it can kind of just sit and steam a little bit. So the other trick for duck breasts, and this is a little bit harder to do on a radio in a radio studio, but it is a good idea to defrost your duck breasts, and then you can actually stick them in the freezer for about 30 minutes before you move them into the pan to get them a little bit of a hard freeze on the skin. And that will help with the rendering process. It's not a big deal with these, which are a little bit thinner. These are like half a pound each, so this will be fine. But for a big duck breast, that'll just slow down your cooking time a little bit.
Okay.
So
interesting.
We prick them all over. And what we're going to do here, and Naomi, you can maybe tell me.
Okay. Do you want me to turn this on?
No.
Oh, no, cold pan.
Cold pan. I was going to say,
cold
what's
duck.
unusual about what we're doing here?
Okay, I just want to show everyone. See, the flame is not on. When you cook duck, you do cold pan, cold duck, and then you turn it on. It's because it's releasing all the fat. That helps release it. Okay, first that has to go. Okay, we're turning on the this down. This is from my chop competition stuff. Okay, hold on. Okay. All right, I'm gonna take some pictures. I'm like very excited.
So what we do is we put the duck in a cold pan, skin side down, and we start it off at a relatively low heat because we want to let the heat build and the fat to slowly start rendering out. This requires a little bit of patience.
Right, so I just want
It's a 3-hour show, right?
3 hours. Today will be 3 hours.
No, it's maybe a 20
so
minute process.
normally you score, like people have this thing with scoring it. So we're not doing that. I just want to reiterate, we are not doing that.
So I try not to suggest techniques to people that I don't feel like the home chef is going to have an easy time handling. And if you want to score your duck breasts and have them look beautiful, you have to score them with a really, really sharp knife. And you have to score them at good intervals, and you have to get the same kind of level of pressure each time you're scoring it if you want it to open nicely. And it's the same thing. You're just opening up the skin so the fat can get out. But you can do the same thing with a push pin.
I love that. So
fair enough. It's gonna leave you with a smooth crust of a skin, which then you'll slice. If you've already got those hatch marks in there, when you cut it into slices, it can sort of skin can come apart a little bit.
The duck skin is amazing.
That's what we're going for.
Okay, so I want to go over this push pin bit again with the listeners because I want to make sure I understand it too. So we are learning together right here today. We are pushing the pin not all the way through the skin into the meat.
Not into the meat, just into the layer of fat. So you just really need to puncture the skin. It's pretty shallow. Okay. And you can kind of feel and hear when you get through the outer layer of skin. There's like I can't make the noise because I'm not a piece of duck skin, but it's like, and there's no way we're going to pick that up on the radio, but it's just there's a little release, and the push pin gives a little bit. Nothing's going to happen if on a couple of your pricks you go a little bit too far.
It's on very low.
It's on very low. Yeah. Yep.
And it's cast iron. So
yep. I know. I'm watching, and I'm going to slowly start turning it up. But the idea is we want to get the fat to render out slowly. If we turn it up high, it's going to sear the skin, and the fat's still going to be inside there, and then it will be very unpleasant to eat.
Now, when you cook whole duck, any techniques for that?
Yes. I will.
Because there ain't nothing like a grow and behold duck.
There's nothing like a grow and behold duck, and I will give a technique from Chef Isaac Bernstein because I love to give credit where credit is due.
Yep.
Isaac is running Pomegranate Market. Isaac was a grow and behold customer when he was catering out in California with Epic Bites, his company that's still out there, run by another great guy named Heshi. But so Isaac's been buying meat from us for quite a while, and when we first started selling duck, he fell in love with the duck, and I said, okay, but what's the best way to cook the whole duck? So this is what he told me, and I don't follow his recipe in exact because my wife doesn't like lavender on duck.
Oh, I don't like lavender. I sneeze from it like crazy. I can't smell it.
It's a lovely smell, but for soap, not for food. for me.
Yeah. People love. I've been to lavender fields, and I can't be near it. I don't call allergic, but
But the technique works. So
Okay.
and it's the same thing. It's prick the duck all over with a push pin or a sharp fork, and then you can do any sort of kind of season or marinade. So he would recommend like olive oil, salt and pepper, and lavender. We will use thyme or a little bit of smoked paprika, but gentle flavors because duck has its own beautiful flavor. Prick it all over, salt, pepper, and a light spicing. And then you put it in a Dutch oven in a 300-degree convection roast or 325 regular roast oven with the Dutch oven open.
I hear it.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to turn it down
You can
just
see
a
it,
bit.
too.
You can see the fat starting to render
Okay.
off.
I'm taking a little picture.
So you put the whole duck in the oven, and every 30 to 45 minutes, you pull the Dutch oven out very carefully. You very carefully reach inside with tongs, remove the duck, which is dripping in fat, hold the duck over the Dutch oven to let the fat drip off, put it on a cutting board, and then you do what we're going to do here, which is... We should have brought that splatter guard.
Wait, yeah. I know you said I don't even own one. Wait, can I ask something? What is that in there in that jar?
So that jar is empty, but
Okay.
the same thing that you do with your whole duck.
It's a good thing I'm wearing green this week.
So there's
Again.
So what you do with your whole duck is you take that Dutch oven, you pour off the fat through cheesecloth into a jar, and then you have your duck fat. And I'm gonna demonstrate that right now.
Okay. So eyes, camera, everyone following. If you're watching on the YouTube channel on the Nachum Siegel net.
Jeez. Okay.
Okay.
Watch out.
Okay.
So this.
Don't burn the white.
Do these go any wider? No. Okay.
Sorry, I
That's
thought
fine,
it
it's
was
fine,
just
it's
for
fine.
like flipping something.
No, this is a very special technique of holding your duck breast in the pan. Oop.
But it's cast iron, so is that because
It's
that's
fine.
why it's black?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's why. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's just because. We'll talk about how you clean your pan later.
It's funny they told me to wash it in salt. I always scrub it with salt.
We
Yeah.
don't scrub it with anything. It's okay.
You don't what? You don't what with everything?
We don't scrub it with anything. Just a very rough sponge. But
Okay,
no
we're
soap, no salt.
Okay, we'll
I
talk
would think
about that.
salt would really dry it out, which you don't.
I don't know.
necessarily
Everyone
wanna do.
always tells me to wash it in salt.
Either way. But so when you're cooking with duck, you can cook duck breast to temperature. And if you want to cook duck breast to temperature, you actually want to cook kosher duck breast to medium rare, not rare. It's going to be too stringy. But really with duck, you're cooking the duck until the fat is rendered. So with the whole duck, every 30 to 45 minutes, you're going to pull that Dutch oven out of the oven, take your duck out, drain the fat, and flip the duck over and put it back in the oven. When is your duck finished? When the fat stops rendering out. So when you put it in the oven and you check it after half
How
an
long
hour.
does that take?
It depends on the size of the duck, 2 to 3 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then you put on the glaze at the end.
I don't glaze my duck.
But yes, if you wanted to glaze, it would go on.
So
at the
I
end.
actually learned that when you sent me a grown behold duck, I had in my freezer for quite a few months because I was
did have it for a
so
while.
nervous to cook it because everyone said grown behold duck is the best. Cook it right. I'm like so nervous. I called Jordana Herschel. Said, Jordana, what am I doing? She says, grown behold duck needs nothing. It has its own flavors. She said, just throw it in the oven with nothing on it. No salt, no sauces, roast it. It was
And what did you think?
crispy and delicious and easiest thing I ever did.
The other thing is,
Set it and forget it.
I mean, generally speaking, when are we making a duck? For Shabbos or Yontif. Now, if it's Yontif, fine, you can make a glaze, but I'm not going to serve something and then make a glaze and then put on the blech for 2 hours.
Oh,
It
God,
just
that's
doesn't.
the worst,
It's like
right?
criminal. So okay, so I just want to say again. So now we have more fat to render out, and I don't want to deep fry the duck. Back up, Anna, just so I don't
Burn you?
burn you. But we don't want to deep fry the duck. We want to sear it.
It's not as black this time when it ran off.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. Cast iron cooking is a bit of a...
So you can.
Caring for a cast iron pan is a lot of work.
It is, but it's worth it. So we actually will usually do duck in a stainless steel skillet, but cast iron also
Right.
can
I
work.
don't know why I thought to bring that because I knew
Cast
we were
iron.
doing duck. I could have easily bought.
It's not a big deal.
It just looks always pretty in pictures. I have a Gotham Steel. Shout out to Gotham Steel. They have really great pans, and they're non-stick. And I happen to like that for when I do my duck breast. I don't know why.
We're a Lodge family. But,
Okay.
But I'm sure the other ones are great too.
Yeah, Melinda Strauss bought me this as a gift.
Oh, great.
Unseasoned, because if you cannot buy a seasoned cast iron pan unless you want to kasher it yourself, because it comes with a layer of fat, and the fat is not under hashgacha. So
The whole thing.
there's a whole what to do. So just buy your cast iron pans unseasoned and season it yourself. We can have Chaya Sari Lightner from Spice and Zest come in and give us a whole lesson on cast iron pans. You probably could also, right? Okay. All right, that looks amazing.
Yep. So, and again, the fat's still coming off, so we're not.
We were talking about Shabbos, though, and duck, especially in the winter, because it is good at room temperature. So
Yes.
you don't have to keep it on a blech and let it sort of overcook. It's, you can make it Friday afternoon, and you're not eating it too much later than when you make it. It's nice for the winter.
Right,
in
I
that
actually
sense.
do that with the duck breast because I don't like mine overcooked.
Yeah.
I like that good medium rare. What if you're using a thermometer and to get that perfect temperature
Duck, I think about 140, 145 for duck.
for duck breasts? Okay, now let's talk about sous vide with duck.
Sous vide.
I sous vide for the
Everybody-
first time.
So you made that oyster steak a few weeks before at home.
Yeah, like
and then,
2 weeks ago.
And then you did it sous vide. So what did you notice the difference, like texture, flavor? I mean, it's
What
an
do you
oyster
like
steak.
better?
It's good, but what did you like better?
It was delicious meat. That's all I can tell you.
Great.
It was really good. I loved it both ways. I did it with Miriam Pascal, Overtime Cook. We were, she was over, and I'm like, I want to show me how to use the sous vide machine. I bought it in July when they
Prime
had
Day.
on Prime
we
Day.
also
Everybody
so did
bought
we.
one.
I've got Prime Day. I was actually overseas, and I WhatsApp called Melinda Strauss and go, can you just order me one on Amazon? And it's literally sat in the box for like 6 months.
Ours too.
So Miriam came over and she showed me because your oyster steak was vacuum packed. Mm-hmm. That we just
All the steaks are.
Everything,
we just dropped it
Yep,
in
ready
the
to go.
sous vide machine.
Yep.
In the bucket of water, the pot of water, so to speak. Had the sous vide machine. Sous vide. Do you want to explain what sous vide is? It means
It means in vacuum, but it's basically a method of cooking that allows you to hold your protein or whatever you're cooking at the desired temperature that you want it to finish for extended periods of time. So it's just a little electronic machine that keeps the water at a certain temperature. But what temperature do you want your steak cooked till? Me? 120, 125. So if I want to cook a steak to a perfect 120, you put it in the sous vide for 2 hours at 120. How long you put it in depends really on the thickness of the steak, or if
yeah, that's what it's still a mystery. Like she showed me how to set it and all that, but how do you know when it's done?
well, so you
Because there's no probe.
no, but the whole thing. So the thing with sous vide is that you're both cooking to temperature, but you're really cooking to texture. That's
it was much. I want to say it was much softer. It was a much.
But did you
softer
like
meat.
that?
I loved it.
Okay.
Because cooking it here is a little harder because you're breaking down the fibers more.
So that's
like,
the thing. Low.
You're
protein.
losing more evaporation, more water's coming off, more steam's coming off. In a sous vide, it's
sealed in.
It's sealed
So
in.
we basically we didn't unpackage. It comes vacuum packed, and we didn't unpack it. We just some people marinate it first and then like squeeze the air out in a Ziploc bag and make that almost vacuum sealed. But we just and then we flavored it afterwards and then seared it. You have to sear it afterwards, right?
Yeah, you have to sear it out afterwards, or then you're going to be eating a mushy piece of meat that's just mushy. If you sear it, you can at least get a crust outside and get the Maillard reaction and get some of those flavors.
Can you explain what the Maillard reaction is?
So the Maillard reaction, Maillard, is browning. It's a way to talk about browning, but sound much smarter. So Maillard.
It's science.
It is, no, it's science. But when you brown proteins, so when you expose them to very high heat on a grill, in a cast iron pan, or anything like that, it creates tons and tons of flavor compounds. And that's what makes your meat taste good. So that's why many, many recipes, even if you're making a stew, they'll tell you to brown your meat first, because that browning creates a lot of extra flavor that you can then get into your dish. But when you're sous vide is going to cook the meat to a temperature and ideally a texture, right? That's really all it can do for you. But if you want to get those additional flavors, you've got to get them another way. So the kind of the gold techniques for sous vide these days are you sous vide your meat at the desired temperature for a certain amount of time, then you shock it in ice water to cool it and stop the cooking.
I didn't know that. We didn't do that.
I only learned about it recently. Don't worry.
Okay, sure.
But you shock it to stop the cooking right there, and then you sear it. You can also, or you can sear fur. I mean, it's a whole thing. I'm very, very torn with sous vide. I see the potential. I understand why for caterers it's brilliant. I understand why for cooks who may not be so confident or who are busy it's great. It's tough for me though because I know how to cook a steak.
Right. So this is my one thing. It took 5 hours to make the oyster steak. It was yum, don't get me wrong, but it's just as delicious in a cast iron pan. So I think the sous vide gets a lot of hype.
Okay.
But I'm just not sure if I'm.
Yeah, if you have a lot of people coming on, you want to serve everyone a steak at exactly the same time, that would be very hard to do in your one pan. So that in that kind of a situation, we're flipping the duck breasts. We pause our discussion to just ogle at the golden
now we've
duck
got
breasts.
beautiful golden crust.
Okay. Okay. I'm taking a picture so I can have it for myself. You're going to see this on my Instagram and the Nachum Siegel Network Instagram. Let's talk about how people can buy your meat. We're talking about the meat. People want to buy it. We've done. I should sit down. Sorry, ZK. I'm like all excited here.
We
how
just
do we
got
buy
a
your meat?
great brand new store. Anna, do you want to tell folks about it?
We have a brand new store, www.growandbehold.com. It's beautiful. You can save your favorites, you can save your credit card, and you can see pictures of the raw meat of every cut that we sell. So if you're not sure, is an oyster steak of that long, thin one or that teardrop shaped one? What does a Denver steak really look like? How would I serve this? We've got all of the pictures up there. So trying to take some of the, bring the butcher shop right into the comfort of your home, on your computer, on your tablet, on your phone. It works.
I love it. I know when I've had questions and when I cook for other people, like I'm not exactly sure like what I'm ordering in the site, I call up and there's someone to talk to as well.
You can also,
I need to be babied a little bit, just like everyone else.
But people want to know
we're gonna make you use the website for your next order just so you can see how easy it is. That's gonna be our next show.
Okay.
So we're gonna have you on the website live. Yeah, Naomi on the website.
And Pesach's coming up.
Pesach's coming. No, but we have a great customer service team. But I also want to note that the photographs on our website when you're shopping are photographs of our actual meat. So
really?
Yes, it's not stock photography. We spent 4 days doing 8 days worth of photo shoots this summer. We went to our butcher shop. We brought the photographer down.
Wow. Who was your photographer?
Evelina Reinhardt. She's wonderful. She does the she does the photography for Degustabus, the cooking school at Macy's. So we met her when we did something there last year. She was there
Another
again.
class coming up in a few months.
In April, we'll be doing a butchering demonstration there.
Oh, I want to come to that. I
gonna be
missed you
fun.
the one with you and Ari.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Ari and I had a good time.
Yeah, we were following along.
But so those are real photographs of the actual meat. And in addition to photographs of the raw meat, we also have photographs of the packaged meat. So you can see how it comes. There's, 2 steaks in a box. So you can see 2 steaks vacuum packed. So you can really understand what you're getting. We're trying to make it as easy as possible. So you can buy it on our website. We ship nationwide. We deliver in the New York area. We are in Manhattan Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're in the 5 towns and Teaneck and Essex County as well on Tuesdays and Thursdays. On Wednesdays, we are in Westchester, Muncie, the North Shore of Long Island, and Queens, and Riverdale, right? Yep. And we ship nationwide. We also have buying clubs all over the country for folks who are looking to save on shipping.
What's a buying club? If you need to know, if you need one, you don't want it might help you because you might need this.
A buying club is really just when a group of customers gets together. They place individual orders, but we ship it to one central location. It's a good way to save a little bit of money on shipping.
It's for people out of town.
It's for people out of town, but we can also ship to you out of town. Like, you don't have to be in a buying club to get our meat.
Right.
But if you have enough people and you don't need the meat right now today for Shabbos, but you have time to organize with those people, and you have a place to receive it on Thursday next week, then we could organize a buying club with you where everybody orders individually, but we send it to one location. So we've got buying clubs in Columbus, Cleveland, 3 different ones in Chicago, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Seattle, Phoenix, Oakland, Berkeley.
We're not going to name all 44.
We're not going to name all 44. There's a
Yeah,
lot.
44 buying clubs.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
But we ship
That is
nationwide
so
right to your door. So
Right.
you can order by 1 p.m. and you can have our meat delivered to your house the next day.
Okay.
And
Now
you're
that
like,
you're all looking at the website, because we told you it was www.growandbehold.com.
And they opened a new window because they're listing on NachumSiegel.com now.
Oh, right, of
So
course.
they're opening a new
A
window, and then you go to
You
growandbehold.com.
can also use the code TABLE for 2 for $15 off an order of $100.
TABLE
FOR
FOR
number 2.
number 2.
Table for 2. And you can also tell your friends to order. So we've got a new referral program. Your friend places their first order, they get 15% off their order, and you get $25 store credit,
So
which you
what's-
can save.
What's the promo code for this?
For the referral, you go to our website, there is an orange button on any page, bottom right corner. There's an orange button that just says refer a friend and earn. And you just click. You'll have to set up an account if you don't have one already. If your friends never ordered, they get 15% off their first order, and you will get $25 store credit added to your account. As a way to say thank you, because word of mouth is really, really the best for us, and
love
we
that.
love to make you happy, and we would love to make your friends happy as well.
Okay, that is great. I'm holding it up to the screen.
We've got recipes. We've got at least 1, often 2 or 3 recipes for every cut on the website. We've also got other names. We really wanted to make this website, obviously it's a store. We want to use it to sell lots and lots of meat, but we wanted to make it a resource as well. So where you can come and you can really understand what's going on, see the different cuts of meat, compare them, etc.
Okay, how close are we ready to eat? Because
What
we've
do you-
got about 3.5 minutes left.
Oh my, I don't think we're going to be quite done. It's going to be
Okay.
rare.
Okay, well then let's just talk about the sauce we were going to make real quick.
Let's
Yes.
make the sauce.
And then we'll tell you later.
Now we'll tell you how it was. We'll
You know
we'll
what?
post about it after the
We're
show.
going to put it on our Instagram, on the
Yeah,
Nachum
exactly.
Siegel Network.
Yeah,
I'll send the videos to Yoni, and he can...
We're still rare.
We actually thought duck would be a really great recipe for Tu B'Shvat, which is coming up, because it is such a great base to serve with fruit, tree fruits.
Okay, so let's make some fruity sauce.
We've got some peach apricot spread here. You could cook this down. You could make it from fresh fruit. We're just going to doctor up some peach apricot spread, and we're going to add a little apple cider vinegar. And basically with duck, because it's so rich, you just want to mix you want a little bit of sweet, and then you want a little bit of something acidic to go with it. Pickled raisins is another favorite of ours. Some people do cherry. Orange is really classic. But
Yeah, orange is very classic with duck.
but I don't know. I like the apricot. I like the cider vinegar myself to just.
We
balance
did
it out.
Well,
a date
apricot was-
rhubarb.
Oh, date
Oh, yeah, that
rhubarb.
was
Dates and rhubarb. That was good.
Yes,
That was
sweet
a
and
good one.
sour.
Sweet and sour.
What was the other one you just said?
Apricot and apple cider vinegar. That's what we're going to work
That's
on today.
today.
Okay, are we doing it now?
Yep.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
Because we
just
have
need
2 minutes.
We just need a bowl.
We need a bowl.
A little bowl.
One more bowl.
Okay, Yoni.
Right here.
Thank you. Oh, okay, we've got one,
Great.
Yoni.
Great.
Yoni Pollock in the house today.
Great.
Okay, we're taking a tablespoon or 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna say like,
Okay, and if you want to see this finished, we're going to have an after show.
The after
don't
show
we have
lunch.
an after show on Oprah? They used to have that, so we're going to have an after show. We're going to put this
the
up
behind the scenes.
on the Nachum Siegel Network.
I
Yoni,
actually-
I'm going to send these to you Friday morning. We'll post these.
I actually learned this from Tamar Genger at Joy of Kosher.
Love Tamar.
This is also a really nice sauce for like schnitzel dipping sauce if you want like a sweet
Schnitzel
and sour
and
thing.
apple cider.
And the peach apricot preserves, or you could do it with a plum jam and an apple cider vinegar. So you want something sweet and something a little bit sour
okay,
mixed
I can
together.
work on that.
And that's what we're doing.
Love it.
So just one note on finishing off this recipe is for thicker duck breasts, for bigger ones, these are about half a pound each, so they're kind of medium size. You can finish them in the pan, but anything bigger, just have your oven preheated to 350, and after you flip the duck breasts, instead of cooking them like I'm doing here on the cooktop, stick them in the oven to finish and give them 5 to 10 minutes, and then you can check the temperature with your meat thermometer or stick the probe in there to cook them till about 140, 145.
Excellent. I always wanted
less
to know
smoky.
that, actually.
Can I say one more quick thing?
Absolutely.
Speaking of those ladies you speak to when you call up on the phone, we are looking to hire in our customer service department.
What
so
happened
if you
to
wanna,
Naomi?
Naomi went
Naomi's
back
in
to school.
Oh, man. I always go,
Studies.
hi, Naomi. It's Naomi.
Doing graduate studies in food at NYU. We're very proud of her.
Yeah, right
Naomi's
up the
great.
road
Naomi's
here
great.
from
But,
the network.
You know, work from home, talk to the best customers in the world, talk about kosher meat, solve problems.
Karen is back full time though.
Okay.
We have
I feel like I
really,
talked to
really
Annie.
extra excellent staff in that department. They really work hard. We love them, and we're looking for more.
Okay. Grow and Behold is growing. I love that. Okay, guys, we're going to finish this up. We're going to video this so everybody can watch it on our Nachum Siegel Network Instagram, so make sure you follow them, okay? And Grow and Behold and me and the whole team over here. This was a great show. Make sure you pick up your copy of Health Giving Cookbook, and you can pick that up on wezofl.org, right? Was that wezofl.org? Yeah, it's in case just, wezofl.org, the cooking book. I'm holding it up to the screen if you're watching. We have Mark Zomick got music with us right up until Lichtbenching. Also sponsored by our friends at Kedem Wines. Thank you, ZK. Thank you, Yoni. Thank you, Grow and Behold, for coming in. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Happy cooking.